What's the most overpriced thing you've seen? A couple of years ago, Marks & Spencer Food, a high-end supermarket in the UK, tried selling cauliflower steak, which was a thick slice of cauliflower, for £2.50. It was covered in plastic. You could literally buy a whole cauliflower in the same row a bit further down for 40p. They were crucified for it. It was hilarious. Lol. Anyone remember Whole Foods asparagus water? 3 stalks of asparagus in a bottle of water, $6. Crucified. I see what you did there. When I was in Dubai 2 years ago, there was a cell phone store in the mall that sold phones that ranged from $30k to $120k. They were basically phones covered in diamonds and gold. That's $100k for something that is probably already obsolete. $800,000 for a 500 square foot condo in Toronto. That's an expensive shoebox. As somebody who lives in a 700 square foot condo in Toronto, I feel this on a spiritual level. I live in New York City. That's a steal compared to what I've seen here. Real estate in and around Toronto is bullshit. 1.25 million for a shit house 35 minutes from downtown. Bullshit. Oh you boy, you have seen nothing. I live in Hong Kong, and a 511 SQFT flat where I live in costs 12 million Hong Kong dollars, or 1,548,216 US dollars. I thought real estate at the center of the universe would cost more. The $700 juicero. As if a Wi-Fi connecting juicer was even necessary, let alone worth the price point. Juicer, since it didn't even actually juice anything, just squeezed bags of pre-made juice. OMG, I forgot about Juicero. I work as a research chef, and back at my old company my idiot boss ordered one of these. After having it a few months, my coworker showed him the article/video that shows how you receive the same amount of juice from squeezing the pouches by hand as you do when using the machine. He then demonstrated it in person, at which point my boss just signed and said, "Fuck," and dejectedly walked out of the kitchen. The Wi-Fi wasn't even useless, but actively harmful. The only thing it did was verify their juice DRM. Yes, they had juice DRM. I remember seeing a basic scientific calculator for like $300. The T84, which is the standard for most high school math classes, still goes for $100, even though it's been out many years and has seen no innovation. I remember failing a math test in school because my parents refused to buy a scientific calculator and got me an ordinary one. The teacher specified that we would need scientific calculators to stand a chance, and she was right. I saw a small thing of Lysol wipes being sold for $22 in a store last week. Edit. Wow, thank you for the awards. I was in a small business in the US, for those wondering. Smells like price gouging. Report that shit, my friend. Google where to report price gouging in your state/area and fill it out. Where? I haven't seen Lysol wipes on the shelf here since February. Cell phone plans in Canada. You guys have a bunch of companies that conspire to maintain similar prices, right? I swear, people sell oddly shaped Cheetos for thousands. Literally thousands. I once won $1,000 for 2 puffy Cheetos, and they were regular shaped and sized. It was all about the presentation. I managed to stand them up and called it a OMG. It's a double rainbow. I guarantee you 99% of those winning $1,000 bids are just trolls who have no intention of paying. The market for gorilla shaped Cheetos is smaller than you think. There's a $50,000 HDMI cable on Amazon. I once read a review of an audiophile grade Ethernet cable. This guy actually claimed changing the Ethernet cable from his router to his PC made his music sound better. I heard that it is easier to change the list price of an item instead of make the item unlisted, so sometimes you'll see an item listed for an absolutely absurd price because it is out of stock. I went to buy a $30 item once and the price changed to $10,000. It's probably 8k. There used to be a nerdy collector store nearby, and when I was about 20 years ago. PFFF, I used to love it in there. Even if not buying anything, I was stunned by the individual Pokemon cards that they had in the glass cabinet, with their rarity emphasized by their ridiculous prices. There was one that always caught my eye, the Ancient Mew card. with baffling illegible text, the whole card being shiny, and it being new. This was amazing. The £150 price tag showed that this thing was so special. They had it displayed in its own velvet lined box. Me and a couple of friends dreamt of owning that thing one day. For reference, the Charizard was £15. It turned out that it was only a promotional card for Pokemon the movie 2000. I bought one due to sheer nostalgia on eBay a few years ago, still in its packet, for £4. Talk about achieving your childhood dreams. When I played MTG as a kid, I always loved looking at the rare and expensive cards. They also had a lot of signed cards by one of the artists. I guess the guy lived in the area and was really nice about signing his cards. If you mailed him one with a return envelope. And you know what I just realized 10 seconds ago? The fact that he lived in the area does not really matter if you were mailing the cards to him. I have that card. You've made me want to go dig them out now. A few years back, Nordstrom was selling a rock in a leather pouch for $85. Neiman Marcus used to put out the most hilarious Christmas gift catalog. One year they offered his and hers Learjets. No kidding. Just about anything in that catalog was wildly overpriced. More recently, they offered in their Christmas book, as a potential gift, a Boeing business jet for the wonderfully affordable price of north of $35 million. Edit, correct the jet price wording. Thought of the same thing. This size of rose quartz should go for $2? I believe it was Nordstrom. If not, it was one of the higher end boutiques like Nordstrom that were selling paper clips for like $100 a piece. Not even a pack either. I saw an external zip disk reader in the clearance bin of Walmart for 10% off its original price in 2011. So it was going for $180 and had parallel ports in 2011. Walmart is weird with prices on stuff like that. I wanna say it was 2 years ago I saw a whole shelf of unopened copies of the game Legendary for PC. They were on sale for $49.99. I had bought it the month prior as part of a bundle with 9 other games in it that cost me $5. I love it. Thrift stores and others have no idea what old electronics are worth. Hint, 0. Anybody want some Win95 software? They just are not able to toss it, so the junk stays on their shelves. Celebrity liner products. Companies hike the prices of products by hundreds of dollars just because the name of a celebrity was on it. I remember when I first got my Nintendo Switch, I went to Walmart to get a new micro SD card for it. Now I looked up the price on their website beforehand. $35, so I knew what I was looking for. Asked a dude in the tech dept where the SD cards are cause I want a bigger one for my Switch. He brought me over to the game aisle and showed me the same sized card, same brand I looked up online, but for $45. I whiffed at this a bit, so I made my way over to the camera aisle and found the same exact SD card for $35. The difference? The $45 card had BOTW branding on the package. That's it, not even on the card itself. Just a picture of Link on the cardboard. That was like 3 years ago, and I'm still angry. Gwyneth Paltrow wants to know your location. In a downtown consignment shop, an oil painting of sheep grazing in a meadow had a price tag of $18,700. It was by an unrecognized artist. When asked why it was priced so high, the shopkeeper said, "Because someone will like it and buy it. My high school art teacher told me your piece is worthless until you have a buyer." Same idea. Had a client who ran an antique store in their retirement, and they said that if something didn't sell for 2 to 3 months, they'd go and raise the price by 100%, and it would generally sell. A lot of art is overpriced for that exact reason. It is worth exactly the amount someone is willing to pay for it. It can be ugly as sin, but if it catches the eye of someone with more money than sense, it will sell for millions. There was that novelty app a while ago that was just a red gem. App Store made him delete it, but he was always upfront what it was. I'm Rich was priced at the maximum expense for an app then, $999.99. On Google Play, an app like that went free for 1 day and I installed it, just for shits and giggles. Still have it. Back in high school, that app was the very first thing anyone would install after jailbreaking their iPhone. I once saw a Harvard Law app, may have been a book or something before ebooks were big. This was a long time ago, on the Apple App Store for $999. Edit, I remembered it wrong, the app was not $9,999. Reading those reviews irritated me. People saying they clicked buy for a joke and then got mad when it charged them. They shouldn't be allowed to have debit cards. I love the people that bought it and then cried afterwards how they were victims because they thought it was a joke. How dumb are you to enter your credit card info and see it's $999 and hit buy and then make a surprised Pikachu face when it actually charges you, lol. They should not have been refunded tbh. Troll app, but it wasn't hiding anything or being shady or anything. Pretty funny looking back at it too. That $6 asparagus water Whole Foods sold a couple years ago. It was a 16-ounce bottle of water with 3 stalks of asparagus. One of my favorite John Oliver sketches. My boyfriend's mom bought me a bunch of things from Goop. I'm not really sure what to do with them because they aren't products I typically use, but I feel bad because they were probably expensive. That sounds absolutely disgusting. I saw a snowmobile motor for $4,000. It wasn't even new, it was like a 90s motor. It is the same thing with boats. An outboard motor is like always $1,500 or more. However, if you buy the motor with a boat attached to it, you are paying the same price. Beef jerky here in the UK. In the US, beef jerky costs around $30 a pound, around £23 in the UK. It is one of, if not the most, expensive beef products you can buy, other than a live cow. Even in the good old US of A, although I'm sure it's relatively better. Keto nuts will recommend it from some protein on the go, but unless it's just a Slim Jim, you're in for it. I sat next to a German guy on a plane once and struck up a conversation. He had inherited the family marzipan business and was branching out into chocolate. So, basically the most German person ever, and was traveling back to Germany from a sweet and salty snacks vendor convention in Chicago. It was basically some big Wonka-esque wonderland, where snack manufacturers set up booths and try to entice reps from big market chains and distributors to buy their product. At one point he asked me, have you heard of this thing, beef jerky? I said, heh, yeah, I'm aware of this product. Then he said, I had never had it before, but my booth was next to a beef jerky company. I traded them a huge sack of marzipan for a huge sack of jerky. That stuff is delicious. I was just on a boat yesterday taking a tour of the Chicago River, eating a garbage bag full of beef jerky. It was the best day. I still think about that guy sometimes. He was so happy. I'm proud of my country for giving him that experience. TP on offer up back in March. Have you checked the prices of Clorox wipes on Amazon? Or 3-pack can go for $200. Printer ink. I had a friend in college who would buy a new $20 printer every time the ink ran out because it was cheaper than buying ink. Printer ink is criminally expensive. Cheaper to buy a new printer already with ink in it. Edit. Didn't know this many people were so passionate about laser printers. Insulin. Discovered over 100 years ago and is now synthetically produced and still is being sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars in many cases. The drug companies decided they were going to make their gigantic profit margins off life-saving medicine. I remember when you could get test strips for like $10 over the counter. Now everyone wants a prescription and a wad of cash. Like I'm never not going to be diabetic, why do I need to keep renewing this prescription? Prof Banting, one of the 4 responsible for insulin, gave the patent away for free as he believed it was immoral to profit from a crucial medicine and didn't want it restricted from the less financially well-off by overcharging from unscrupulous drug companies. So all those pharmaceutical companies are making huge profits off of something they didn't have to invest in the research of. Scum. Engagement rings. As a machinist who has made things for the military, most people don't understand what overpriced means. Preach. I bid a job for the military and they told me my bid was too low. I added a 0 and got the job. Price I initially quoted would have been profitable for me. As a shop owner who has made things for the military, I'm thankful to be on the receiving end of irresponsible government spending. Came here to say this. Or pretty much anything government. When Katrina hit, I had a handful of friends take their dump trucks to No and sat in lines to get loaded with garbage/dirt to take 3 miles away, dump and get back in line. All for the low price of $300 p/h. Dawn to dusk 7 days a week. Gotta love no bid contracts. At my old job they used to buy excess stuff from the military. We got a package of pry bars, like the really large ones made to scoot a motor around. They all had expiration dates stamped into them. Expiration dates on a pry bar. Gold plated diamond encrusted Nokia cell phone. Why the hell would someone try to put fancy armor around something that's already indestructible? In the absence of a concealed carry license, it's good to have a practical weapon on you. €400 t-shirt in a shop in Zurich. So it was for gullible tourists, since Switzerland doesn't use the euro. I once saw a scissor to $90. It wasn't anything fancy, it was in a grocery shop. $90. You should know that hairstylists can pay upwards of $2,000 for a pair of scissors. Many actually make payments on the scissors and pay to get them sharpened frequently. I never knew this until I saw the look of disgust and utter defeat when a hairstylist dropped a pair of scissors while I was getting the mop chopped. I have some garment scissors that I got in my provided supplies from fashion school that retailed for $80 in the student store. I only know because a friend of mine lost her pair and had to replace them to do her homework. Lol. Bread in Minecraft. That would be 64 emeralds. I still don't understand why you don't have to bake the bread. Minecraft characters just sitting there chowing down on raw dough. Diamonds. If there's any doubt on diamonds not really having any value, just look at the resale price. You won't get shit compared to what you initially paid for it. At first I thought diamonds were in the same league as gold, as in actual rare earth stuff. Turns out it is just a great case study of controlling supply and advertising to make the big bucks. Or even better, that $1,000 diamond app which just shows a picture of a diamond and does nothing else. De Beers wants to know your location. You can buy a pink synthetic diamond for $800 a carat. A mined one would be 10x that. There's no chemical or physical difference. There's a big pressure cooker outside London that shoves them out by the kilo. As someone who is half blind, glasses, I get the dirt cheap ones, and it still costs over $100 for the privilege of being able to see. Have you tried Zenny? I got a regular and sunglasses for less than $60. Bottle service at bars is fucking stupid. I'll just go to a corner liquor store and buy the $4,000 bottle for like $40. Bottle service seems great when I'm blacked out and my friend orders it. When he Venmo requests me the next day, it does not seem great. You're not paying for the liquor, you're paying for the location to drink it. Not worth it to me either, but to many people it is. Well, was thinking that COVID had all but killed the club scene for the next few years. Weddings. I don't disagree with wanting the day to be special and memorable, but the industry jacks up the prices if they know it's a wedding, and there are way more affordable options while still getting to celebrate love in the future. No reason to break the bank. Use the money saved for even more memories. At least part of the wedding tax is justified. Vendors will often put more effort into wedding stuff over non-wedding stuff, and will often even have backups ready. If something happens to your wedding cake minutes before it is picked up, you want them to have a backup cake ready, because a refund at the last minute is next to useless, since you won't be able to find a suitable replacement ready to go in the next hour. Sure, the cheap party favors and other plastic crap you buy months in advance that you have plenty of time to replace shouldn't have a wedding markup, but the day of stuff that had weeks of prep, it is better to pay a bit extra to cover the backups and prevent Bridezilla meltdowns. Nook's Cranny selling a chess set for 100,000 bells. Edit. Thanks so much for my first awards. Also the houses. How does the price go up so much just by adding one room TF? I scrolled through 3 pages of responses to find this comment, and that fucking crown the able sold me. Nook is a criminal and no one in town cares. Liechtenstein. Worst part is I can't seem to find the receipt for a return. Cheapest place I found to eat in Liechtenstein was Subway, and it was still grossly overpriced. I accidentally bought an illegally imported 4-pack of Jewel pods from Canada. I instinctively said mint, knowing they didn't exist in New York anymore. Well, he pulled out a hidden pack with French warnings on it. I paid over $10 per pod. Nicotine is a bitch. Why did they remove mint in New York? Food and movie theaters. The prices of everything is jacked up so much. For the big blockbuster movies, theaters have to give 100% of ticket sales to the studio for like the first 6 to 8 weeks after release. So theaters actually lose money showing movies. That's why they have to charge so much for food and drinks. Theaters have to stay in business somehow. Or, had IDK, the pandemic really messed things up for a lot of industries.
Thanks for watching. If you could like, subscribe and comment best Reddit stories for more Reddit videos.